Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Medieval Dynasty. Starting off, what we're going to do is just sleep through 27 minutes. So we're going to wait. So in today's episode, what we're going to do is, if I bring up the map, we're actually going to go back down to Gustovia. And once we reach Gustovia, we're going to follow this road here and make our way up to Sambor to find out what he requires from us. So we've got about 22 minutes, so I may, if I've got the stuff to make, we need some more sticks. So I may, what we do is just start walking over that way. That's 12. We'll start walking over that way, we'll pick up some sticks along the way, and then we can sleep when we get a little closer. So we now have 16, so I don't need to pick up anymore. What we're going to do is just walk over. I believe we could just take all the hills instead of the road, although I'm kinda not wanting to do that, just in case of any wolves or any other predators living in the woods. Don't want to get attacked right now. But what we'll do is we'll start heading this way. Of course, it's getting a little darker now. Nice view of the kind of landscape here. Really, really nice area. Winter in this game is stunning. I don't know what else to say really. It's really nice looking area. So we're just going to head on inside Gustovia and work our way around to the right side. Of course, it's getting a little darker now, everyone's heading home. What we can actually do is think about putting down a fire somewhere. So find a location that's not too close to an existing village, which should be further down here. Covered an animal, white-tailed eagle. Yeah, I think this is a good spot. So we'll just light up and we'll sleep through till the next day. Oh wow, that's bright. I wasn't expecting it to be this bright. Can hardly see anything, just like last episode when we worked our way into the morning. So we're gonna follow this road, and really good exploring because we can get a lot of animals discovered as well, which is really nice. So, walking over the bridge, I believe we just follow this all the way to the right, up this hill. Yeah, just follow it up this hill, all the way right. And then we should get to Sambor's house, or the village where Sambor lives in. I don't know if he's in a village. It didn't look like there was any villages where the point was. Covered a badger, which is really nice. All these different animal spots that we're discovering while walking up. Really handy. So I'm just gonna keep my spears out because we haven't really been up this way. So because of that, I'm not too sure what's kind of lurking about. Whether there's any bears or wolves or boars hanging around in the trees or anything waiting. So I don't really want to be having to stumble upon a wolf that's ready to attack us without having something in our hands to defend us. Of course, it takes a second to pull them out, but I'd rather just have them ready to go. As you can see, there are some wolves right over there. So we're going to be extra careful and kind of go off into the woods a little bit. Keeping an eye out, really. So we'll keep going this way. Kind of off the path a little bit, but better to be safe. And we can just make out a structure. A little two buildings. Kinda out in the middle of nowhere, I believe. By the looks of it. We'll put these away now that we've kind of reached this guy's house. So this is Sambor, huh? Interesting fella. Let's talk to him. I think you're lost, boy. Sorry, I didn't mean to diss. Wait a second. Look me in the eye and stop shivering, for crying out loud. Huh. Black and blue. You're Jordan's family, aren't you? Yes, my name's Rakamir. You must be Sambor then. How do you know that? I was talking with a Unigust. He told me that you were part of the Reminders as well. Part of what now? The pack? The one with the Unigust and Jordan? I've never heard this idiotic name in my life. Oh, sorry, maybe I've made a mistake. We were called the Undying Fist. Now that's a whole lot better name. You're damn right it is. That's because I came up with it. Everyone loved it. No idea why Unigust lied to you like that. Sure, he was just jealous about your creativity. Ha, of course he was. And not only about that. Anyway, I would love to hear some stories about my uncle and the pack's adventures. All together. That's an amazing coincidence, because I would love to spend my time telling the old tales by the crackling fire. Oh my, really? No, leave my property and forget where it is. Oh come on, it will only take a moment. A moment really. Just tell me, what was my uncle like? How did you become part of the Undying Fist? And what did you do exactly? Something just hit my mic. Oh well. You don't know what we did? Unigust didn't get to that part yet. Alright. But be quiet and try to be less annoying. Where should I begin? Right. It all started when Jordan left his home. He was 18 at the time, if I remember correctly. That clever bastard. Was always too big of a fish for his birthplace, and he knew that. Left as soon as he could, but cleverness at such a young age always means two things. Being arrogant and hot-headed. His plan was to set out on a big adventure. That's it. Pretty detailed, huh? Path like that is paved with skeletons of young idiots. But none of them was Jordan either way. He was wandering for days. Days soon turned into weeks, and his rations into dust. He was useless as a hunter, back then at least, so berries and mushrooms was all he could get. So obviously he needed some coins. He came across a manor with orchids, so vast they seemed like oceans. Jordan managed to find some work there. A week of back-breaking labour had passed. Hands were covered in blisters, skin red from the scorching sun, knees pulsating from pain. Must say, you're really an amazing storyteller. I wasn't expecting that. Shut up. Do you want me to finish? Where was I? Alright. He was exhausted from the strenuous work he'd done. Went to the lord of the manor with a smile on his face to collect his payment. His stomach was already full with fantasies of all the delicious treats he was dreaming of buying. And all of that was ruined by the hand of the lord holding a couple of lousy coins. Jordan was furious. That was merely a fraction of the pay he was supposed to acquire. He started shouting at the lord, demanding justice. Peasants were just flies to the lord, discussing placeable insects. And what do you do with a fly which buzzes too loud? Both of the lord's palms struck Jordan's ears with such a strength of the ox. Jordan fell to the ground stunned, and the lord's guards threw him out of the manor like garbage. Feeling that few pathetic coins while doing so. If I may add, it wasn't until evening when Jordan regained his hearing, and when it came of a fervent thought of revenge. Yarnko was quite a capable fighter when I met him 10 years later, but he wasn't back then. He knew the guards would massacre him if he only came close. He needed to find another way to fulfill his vengeance. Jordan was always ambitious, but that hatred fueled him like nothing before. And what happened next? What came later was becoming bored of the conversation. Go away. No way, you can't leave me like this. I can do whatever I want. Scram, I have things to do. What things? I'll do them for you. I'll do anything you want. Just please, tell me the whole story. Damn, you're annoying. Please, 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 please. Fine, shut up already. Just say what needs to be done. You won't regret it. Here, grab this shovel. Piece of crap, it will do. There are clay deposits behind my house. Go there and dig them up. Dig some clay up for me. On it, boss. Alright, so. Wow, these quests are rather long with conversation. So we need to go behind his house, I believe. I'm just going to jump over the fence because why not? If I can. Oh my god. There we go. These must be the clay. Oh, hello. Like a reindeer. Strange deer figure. Huh. What are these, I wonder? There's more. Huh. Is that them all? Oh, there's two more. Wonder what these are. There's 6. Oh my god, they're like... They're everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere. What are these? Can I sell them? Don't see any more. Oh, there's one hidden. Alright, well, he wants some clay. Getting distracted by figures. There's more. What are these? I'll come back to you. I don't know if there's any more around here. Don't see any more. Strange. There's another shovel as well. Play. I'm gonna take it. Oh, I need to dig up another deposit. Gonna have a little bit more clay than I was expecting to have, I guess. There we go. Oh, didn't mean that. There. What the hell? There's wine bottles as well. I'm so confused by these deer. Alright, let's head back. Alright, to Sambor. You have it? Here's the clay you wanted. Will you finish the story now? Alright. So as I've said already, Jordan wasn't much of a fighter back then. He didn't have any money nor connections. But he had one thing, an unusual ability. You see, from an early age, Jordan was an exceptionally good liar. No sweaty palms, no voice cracks, no tells really. Calm, steady breaths, eye contact held all the way. He eventually managed to handle any kind of pressure, even in the craziest of situations. But it wasn't that at first. He felt no pressure lying, no stress at all. It was as natural for him as breathing. He had absolutely no remorse. Very interesting and all, but what happened to the Lord? I swear you little brat, interrupts me one more time and you will meet right... I swear you little brat, interrupt me one more time and you will meet my wrath. Relax big guy, I'm all ears. Came up with a plan so immensely moronic and unrealistic. That's it, really hard to believe that it worked so perfectly at first. Convinced the nearby towns to tailor him Town's tailor to sew him a wholesale of clothes worthy of the most wealthy nobleman, finest of fabrics, silken threads, you name it, horrendously expensive. So how did he manage to afford it, you may ask? It's simple, he didn't pay for it, so he stole it? I say no such thing. Jordan wasn't a thief, not the traditional meaning of the word at least. Apart from that, did I finish the damn story? Ahem. While wearing his new clothes, he travelled to the castle of the king of that realm and entered it. Okay, now I know that you're making this all up. That's simply impossible. Hahaha, you're absolutely right it is. It's mad to even consider trying to pull that off. But Jordan, he just walked straight in. I don't blame you for doubting me. Damn, I would have been first to doubt a thing like that if I didn't see him doing it hundreds of times later with my own eyes. Anyway, he walked right into the castle and once he was there, he followed through with his plan. Which was bedding his wife. Whose wife? The king's. The king's wife? So the queen? Indeed. So let me get this straight. The plan was to get into the castle and lay with the queen. Exactly that. You were right, this is the most absurdly idiotic plan I've ever heard of. I told you, but it worked like a charm. I still don't get it. What worked? What has he accomplished by that? After the lovemaking, he dressed up, deliberately leaving his undergarments on the bedside and told the queen he'll be right back with some refreshments. Then, he went to one of the king's guards and told him that he saw the queen with a company of a stranger man sneaking into one of the chambers. The guards rushed in and witnessed the queen naked in bed with man's clothes right next to her. As a loyal servant, the guard reported on the matter directly to the king himself, who, as you can probably imagine, became furious to say the least. He couldn't really punish his wife, this would be bad for his reputation, but he could pursue her lover. Fortunately for him, at this point Jordan was long gone from the castle, riding a beautiful bay mare he borrowed from the stable into sunset. I still don't get it. You see, the king didn't catch the full-faced seducer, but it didn't mean he couldn't track him down and find him. To do so, the only track he could follow was the one that Jordan left behind. Kept his undergarments and a pleasurable memory for the queen. His name, not his real name of course, the name he used when introducing himself to the queen was the Lord of Orchids. Precisely, now you get it. That's incredible. The Lord's head must have left the company of the body pretty promptly. He didn't get killed, that wouldn't be Jordan's style. The queen begged for his life to be spared, so the king threw him in the dungeon, where he spent the days he had left. Jordan was amazing, all that. With the power of his wits and speech, he surely showed the Lord that he should have wronged him. Don't get the wrong ideas about his reasons. Jordan didn't go through all that just because of what the Lord did. pardon me, did to him. You see, the Lord was a cruel, merciless brute. He mistreated all of his subjects, killed for fun. People used to call him the laundryman because one of his habits was drowning his bastards in the lake right after birth, like unwanted kittens. Jordan needed to stop him, and he did. But that's not the end of the story. After the Lord's capture, someone had to take his place. He didn't have any rightful successors, but then, just on uncannily perfect timing, he came a distant cousin of the Lord's. Charming young man with 2 different eyes. You have to be kidding me. He easily acquired all his possessions of his sentenced relative, but Jordan didn't want any of that, not for himself. He only took 3 bags of coins from the treasury, left everything else in the hands of the peasants. They were elated, but he is still probably worshipped there. I can tell you that. Oh, and one more thing. Why 3 bags, you might ask? That's easy. 1 for the tailor, another for the stableman he took the horse from, and the last for himself, with the exact amount of coins he was rightfully supposed to earn for his work on the orchid. I told you that Jordan wasn't a thief, but that was it. He mounted his beautiful mare and left for the realm, continuing his venture. At least that's the story he used to tell us. So nothing of that may be true at all, ha ha ha. But that's just how it was with Jordan. Now I understand why you and Yonigus were talking about. He really does seem surreal. I've never met anyone else like that. Don't get me wrong, he had his flaws, but the things he could do, tongue wasn't even silver, it was pure gold. But wait, you didn't tell me what the purpose of the Undying Fist. Oh, I thought it was obvious now. On that day, Jordan's mission was born. He knew that he was spoiled, rotten elites like that were scattered all around the world, draining life and dignity from the hard-working, simple folk. And that he was capable of stopping them, to some extent at least. So that's exactly what he started doing, overthrowing corrupted lords and giving back to the community. Sounds like a hero. Well, it wasn't like, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. So how did you join the pack? Jordan was working solo until he met Unigust. That rat's agile fingers could work where Jordan's tongue didn't. And then they needed someone with other talents they were lacking, like strength, manliness, lord, bravery, independence, gallantry, integrity. So they recruited the best there was. I was between jobs at the time, so I gave them a chance, and finally the pack started to really make a difference. But I don't like to brag. Oh, these these conversations. Oh yes, I notice. Humble to the bone. Thank you for noticing. People at my level don't need to boast about their skills. Just like the sun doesn't need to prove it's bright. Anyhow, I already spoke more words to you than I did in the past 5 years to anybody. So it's time for you to go. Preferably don't come back ever. Great pleasure talking. A pleasure. Yeah, I don't care. Leave now in return for giving away my location, deliver this delicious meal to Yonigas. It's his favourite, a knuckle sandwich. Do you want me to hit him in the face? Did I stutter? No, sir. Of course, sir. I'm on my way, sir. Oh, okay. So, Unigust's quest has updated. Deliver the knuckle sandwich to Unigust. So it's back to Unigust then, for some more talking. My mouth is really bone dry right now, after all of that. But these are really well put together stories. I really love all of this. And for a game only made in 2020, I believe, it's really exceptional. between all of these episodes, we're on episode 10 now, I believe. I went back to watch some earlier playthroughs when this game first came out, and to see kinda the development of the game from back then to now, it's a lot different. In terms of all the stories and stuff, and how some of the characters look, and how, for instance, some of the crafting recipes and stuff like that. It's really interesting to see how far this game has come. And I just wish I knew about this sooner. I wish I knew about this game sooner. It's a really interesting game. Definitely a game that I would have paid for. Of course, as I'm recording all of these, this game is on Game Pass for Xbox, which is one of the many reasons I have been able to play this. So yeah, this definitely would have been a game that I would have paid for, had I known about it sooner. It's a really fun, interesting, story-driven game. Definitely just not the story of it, but being able to create your own village from scratch, essentially from the ground up. And it's a really well put together game. One that I definitely wish that I could have played sooner than this. I'm just going to go down to the river here and get some water. And see if we've got any food on us as well. We do, we've got one. So we'll need to pick up some food. I wonder if our campfire is still kind of in the middle of somewhere. I believe along this path. Yeah, I see it right there. So I think what I'm going to do is light up this fire and cook some food. And we'll just cook it all up. So yeah, it's a really fun game. We're on episode 10 now, and I've been having a lot of fun with this game. I've definitely not talked this much while reading a game before. I've definitely not talked this much in some episodes here. I have been trying to break a lot of these up in terms of not having to read in every episode. Try and break them up from doing certain stuff, whether it's working on the village, working on our village, exploring, hunting, all this different stuff. Of course, here and there will be episodes where I am focusing on the story and doing all the talking. But it's really nice to just have that opportunity. Of course, it's night time, so we're gonna have to go back. I'm gonna end the episode here though, and we'll pick up the episode where we left off. Finish off talking to Unigust. Then I think in the next episode we work to finish off chapter 6, which is getting our last two buildings, the workshop and the woodshed, done. But it's really nice to have. I love how the snowman's here. It's really nice. We can collect it, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is actually stand beside it and take a photo for the thumbnail. However, that's going to do it for this episode. A lot of talking. I need to go get a drink after this. But thank you so much for coming and watching me do another episode of Medieval Dynasty. We'll pick up right where we left off in the next episode, finish off talking to Unigust, and finish off chapter 6. Apart from that, guys, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.